I'll never forget that night at the oil rig camp, miles from civilization, wrapped in the silence of an unending forest. I'd taken a break during my night shift to get some fresh air, letting the thick darkness of the woods settle around me. Out there, every sound is sharper, every shadow more threatening, and that night, the air felt like it was pressing in, carrying a strange primal energy. I'd barely lit my cigarette when I felt it, a prickle at the back of my neck, like I was being watched. I scanned the trees, but the forest was just darkness layered on more darkness. Still, something was out there. It wasn't a person. I'd know the sound of boots on gravel, the careless snap of a branch. But here, there was only silence, like the forest itself was holding its breath. And then, just beyond the reach of the camp's dim light, something moved, a massive hulking shape, low to the ground, a pair of eyes catching the faintest glint of moonlight. They burned, vivid and steady, fixed on me. My mouth went dry as I realized whatever this was, it was big, and it wasn't the least bit afraid. It was the kind of silence that's not empty but filled with a deadly patience. I took a step back, and the creature moved forward, slipping in and out of the shadow, every movement fluid and careful, like it was stalking me. I could feel my heartbeat drumming hard, filling my ears, drowning out everything else. The sheer size of it was almost impossible to comprehend. It looked strong enough to take down anything that got in its way, and I was just a standing target. I reached slowly for my knife, but I knew it was pointless. This thing had me. The air was thick with a strange, raw scent, something metallic and earthy that only made the dread sink deeper. As I fumbled, it came closer, close enough that I could see its breath curling in misty puffs, catching faint glints of light as it exhaled, slow and steady. Then, just as suddenly as it appeared, it let out a low, deep sound, something between a growl and a warning rumble that seemed to vibrate through my bones. It held my gaze for a moment longer, and then, as if dismissing me as nothing worth the trouble, it slipped back into the trees and vanished. I stood there, frozen, the forest once again silent, like whatever presence had been there had sucked the life out of the night. Even now I can feel that stare, that sense of something powerful, something otherworldly, sizing me up and deciding to let me live. And no matter how many times I go over it, I still can't shake the feeling that it was a close call, closer than I'd like to believe.